Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Silent Hill Downpour. Well, last time we finally came face to face with the dreaded Bogeyman, and though we did not manage to stop him in time from killing that poor innocent young boy, I do get a good feeling that maybe we'll stop him from murdering that poor young girl.
Wait! Stop running! It's not safe!
Sadly though, the young girl isn't very willing to stop and just tends to run away from us continually throughout this Otherworld for St. Maria's. I can only assume she must just be terrified from being in this situation.
Damn it, I'm not gonna hurt you.
I do want to say though, I just really enjoy the Otherworld for St. Maria's. Just the way they warp everything that even before was already fairly dilapidated.
What the hell?
So it seems that our nemesis, the Bogeyman, is definitely becoming more and more aggressive. No, look, it's our good friend, the prisoner minion. But he is actually not the same from before, but we'll be getting a better look at him later on.
Wait! I'm trying to help you!
Well, it looks like we're going to have to find some other way around. But not before we deal with the void. Pretty much every Otherworld situation we are going to have a little chase sequence. And this one is a lot more dangerous than ones that we've run into in the past, mostly because of the combination now of these wall-based enemies and the void. Really though, if you take your time and make sure not to run into the very easy pattern of these enemies, it's not too difficult to not take too much damage here. The main issue becomes that, well, we have actually gone full circle. Did you manage to notice where we need to make a little turn? Well, the one thing that really stuck out was that there was a section of wall where there looked like there was a watery face of sorts. And that's going to be our sign to make a turn.
There must be a way out somewhere.
Yeah, it can actually be pretty easy to miss depending on what direction you come from. And really, there's just no good, easy way to dodge damage there. Pretty much the way that that little clock tower area is set up, you're pretty much guaranteed to take some hits from the void there.
You won't find yourself now until you face the truth.
But just like that, we have now left the void behind to deal with another new trap in the Otherworld. Now, while these sharp needles can actually be a bit dangerous, they have very simple patterns to get down. I think they just kind of shove out 3 times. Or in some cases, just not at all. Yeah, I guess if you have a bit of claustrophobia, this place can be a bit, I don't know, frightening. But for the most part, it's really, really simple to get past. And for our trebles, they are nice enough to give us a med kit to heal ourselves up. But in turn, they are then massive jerks, leading us into this inescapable arena with a Bogeyman at one end and some lovely screamers, well, to deal with up close and personal. There is actually no way to deal with Bogeyman in this situation. We merely have to dodge him and his shockwave attack. But we can actually use his shockwave attack to hit the screamers. Though, obviously, we don't want the screamer on our back in that situation. But yeah, that shockwave attack actually does quite a bit of damage, so you do want to dodge that as best you can. But after a while, he'll decide to get bored and actually knock a hole in the wall, allowing us to continue. And I sincerely have no idea what this music is supposed to convey, possibly a tribal library feel. But we do want to keep in mind that particular painting up top there. That will actually be coming up in a puzzle right after this particular hallway. So we now find ourselves in a very large, mysteriously numbered stairwell. And next to each one of these doors we do see a painting, and all we have to do is find the door with the painting that was shown to us beforehand in the library. While also dealing with what I assume to be the squeals of those wall-based enemies. Now, I think in this particular stairwell you can go either up or down. I decided to go up because I think it is a bit of a shorter route. But really, the only danger in these particular hallways or stairwells is just the wall enemies, and really, they're not even a threat. But here we find ourselves in what was one of the more memorable set pieces of St. Maria's, which I would normally say would be a bit out of place in a mental institute, but, well, we did go through that play before, and it looks like we might have to go through another one now, in a much more garish and pulsating arena. So while initially this dressing room seems to be something of a dead end, there is actually something of interest in here, and it's behind this large painting. Yeah, it may be a bit hard to see, but there's actually a hole in the painting itself, which leads us into a secret room. And in this blue lit room we do see a few hidden messages such as deep inside and so innocent. But more importantly, we do find blue candles. And tiny pants. But as you can probably tell from the laughter, that was something of a trap, because after we grab those blue candles, we are set upon by some lovely dolls. But I have an additional benefit that I didn't have in the previous video, in that I now remember what the block button was. So even though we are set upon by two separate dolls, I think the situation goes a little bit better. But if you notice the spotlight up above there, that is actually where we are needing to head. Thankfully, the rest of this little play area is relatively safe. There is just a little bit of backtracking, but, you know, we get to take in all the lovely scenery. I do love the fact that as opposed to the cafe Otherworld, we actually get to see transformed areas of St. Maria's here. We actually get to spot landmarks that we have seen previously. It's nice to see them transformed into their bizarre, macabre, otherworld scenarios. Yet again, nothing really on the radio. Definitely don't think that was DJ Rick's, but I don't know, I still get a feeling we'll hear from him in the future. But here in the control room we do see that we have two levers. We might as well open up the curtains. And that actually gives us free access to continue, but, well, we might as well operate the chandelier. Must have been put here for some reason. And as you could already probably tell on the chandelier itself, that reason was so we could deal with a new enemy type. Well, new in a very loose sense of the term. This is pretty much an upgraded version of the prison minion. This guy will come with a shiv, as you can probably tell, and he is actually quite a bit easier to deal with because as opposed to the normal prison minion, he does not block at all. So you can just pretty much lay into him as much as you want. The only problem is that he does quite a bit more damage than the normal prison minion does, but we actually don't see those guys too often. But now that we have the chandelier down here, we might as well use our blue candles. Maybe shine some more light on this play area. Yeah, I think the blues will really set off the flesh colors of the room. But this was that slight bit of backtracking I mentioned before. Thankfully, it is really not too far of a jaunt. And that's one of the good things about Murphy is he doesn't seem to run out of stamina that quickly. But upon raising the chandelier there, it seems our blue light has illuminated some symbols on the far wall there. And we are actually going to be needing those symbols pretty shortly. So, keeping those symbols in mind, let's go ahead and see what the play that is waiting for us on stage is. I get the feeling all of this might mean something deeper to Murphy. Yes, the terror. Look at his feet. Terrifying. Yeah, for some reason this all reminds me of a part of Max Payne where I think he goes to a little theme park, but after that little jaunt through playtime, we now find ourselves into a very large room with a set of 3 bells. You may notice on each bell is a particular symbol, and well, this is where those combination of symbols we saw previously is going to be put to use. Yeah, this game just has such a great touch for the subtleties of life.
Okay. Get away from her. Where am I? Why are you doing this to me?
Thank you for coming to shepherd your son home, Mr. Pendleton. I know it's difficult losing a child.
With all due respect, I don't think you do. And like I already told you, there's been a mistake. I buried my son years ago.
I understand, Mr. Pendleton. We all deal with grief in our own way. Shall we?
What?
Now, if you'll just sign for your son's body, you can take him home.
No! This isn't my son! This thing's a monster, a murderer!
Yes, well, I suppose that runs in the family.
What the hell are you talking about?
Don't you know, child? Have you wandered so far off the path to not even realize who you are?
What the hell are you talking about?
So often the answers are before us, Murphy. If only we allow ourselves to see them.
Why are you doing this to me?
There were those who dwelt in darkness and in the shadow of death. Prisoners in misery and chains, because they had rebelled against the word of God.
What? No. No. I
When they
get
cried
it.
out to the Lord in their trouble,
I screwed up,
He
but I
saved
didn't
them.
see any other
He
way.
brought them out of darkness.
You don't
and the
know what it
shadow of
was
death,
like to
and
know it
broke
was
their
my
bonds
fault he
apart.
was gone. Every
You who
time I
seek God,
shut
let
my
your heart
eyes,
revive.
I saw Charlie's
For the
face,
Lord
and
hears
all
the
I
needy
could
and
think
does not
was,
despise
that
those who
monster
are
is still
prisoners.
alive, but I'll never get to see
Amen.
my boy again. Why are you doing this to me? What do you want? What I did to Napier didn't solve anything. Charlie was still gone, and I was stuck in prison. Everything spiraled out of control. It was my fault. I just want my life back.
Revenge is a long, treacherous road, isn't it, Mr. Pendleton? Where do you suppose it ends? It's yours, if you want it. You only need to claim him as your own. You see? I knew you'd come around in the end. Welcome home, Mr. Pendleton. Glory be to God.
And it seems after all that we've left the Otherworld, but where are we now? But in a somewhat familiar location. Yeah, these houses may seem familiar from the movie side quest that we did before. But these are actually, I think, Murphy's house and his next door neighbor, who I'm wanting to say was Napier. This is all leading back to the day that, well, Charlie went missing and was found dead. What all is Murphy really needing to come to grips with? What part of himself is he really needing to accept here? What is the town really trying to show Murphy?
Daddy, help me! Help me! Where are you, Daddy?
Charlie! Charlie! Hold on, I'm coming! Charlie! Charlie!
Well, it seems we're going to have to take a pretty aggressive stance on the demons that are haunting Murphy in this boss fight with the Bogeyman. Now, this particular fight is not really a difficult one. The Bogeyman does do quite a bit of damage, but, well, as you can probably guess from his size, he is incredibly slow. Now, that's not to say that we can go full auto on him with our double-bladed axe. No, he can actually be a bit disconcerting with just how much of a reach he has and, well, just how much of a area of effect he can do. But a simple tactic of getting in a single quick hit and then running for our lives is usually the best means to go about this fight. And after doing enough damage, all we have to do now is to get his weapon and finish him.
You killed him! You killed the Bogeyman!
Doesn't matter. It didn't bring you back. Nothing can bring you back.
It's not your fault.
I'm sorry.
So with that, we finally get our first good look at Charlie Pendleton. We hopefully allow Murphy to come a bit to terms with, well, just some of the things he's had to do to get by in life and to make himself feel just a little bit better. But in the end, well, do we really know if this is what the town wants? We are pretty much stuck to the machinations of invisible forces. And, well, in the end, it's always going to be up to Murphy to decide what is the right and what is the wrong course of action. And we can only hope that in the end that maybe he'll figure out just what is the right way to deal with the trauma he's had to deal with. For right now, though, we are actually fully done with St. Maria's. We now have our keys to freedom. And hopefully we are actually one step closer to solving the mystery surrounding Murphy Pendleton. For now, though, now that we are back on the surface, I think this is a good place to stop. Hopefully you will join me next time as we continue on for more Silent Hill Downpour.